In this one, I'm going to do three-part writing here. This time I'm actually going to pay attention to parallel fifths and things like that, like we had in the four-part. The lighter the texture, the more that can come out and be heard. Also, I want to show you maybe how we would think about inversions to get us out of problems. Okay, so let's see. We're going to do bass, we're going to do alto and soprano. Soprano's been given to us, and we kind of want to leave it like that. I think this is supposed to go below, right there, like that. Okay, so not a big surprise here. I'm going to go, I'm going to put my basses down here, like that. Okay, change layers, I think. So dun dun dun. And that gives me my root and my third, which is all I really need right there. Okay, and for my alto, I think I'll just go up to the root because it's smooth like that. And it shouldn't have any problems right here because this is a fifth right there, right? Or sorry, between here and here, right? And then it's an octave right there. I'm looking at the fifth between here, and there's no doubled notes, so there can't be parallels, okay? So it's a little bit thinner texture without the extra things there. I'm gonna try and bring my basses up, right? And we know that we had hidden direct fifths or octaves. Fifths in this measure from our four-part writing. Well, if we go down for the G, because then it would be D goes down to G, skips down, similar motion, perfect fifth. So we're gonna head that off. We have a root and a third. We have a little more space here because we don't have a tenor line. And so since we don't have to accommodate that, I'm gonna leave the altos here, I think. It's a smooth line for them. It makes our spacing very smooth. We have a fifth between the basses and the altos, and the sixth between the altos and the sopranos, so it's pretty homogeneous. And that's going to lead us nicely into here. I have a root and a fifth and a third. So here I have root, third, fifth. Here I have root, root, third. No problems. Here to here, this is jumping up into a tenth. That's not moving. Whenever you have a line that doesn't move, it's called oblique motion with the other lines. You can't get any problems there unless you're doubling a tendency tone. Can't ever have parallelisms there. So then this jumps into a fifth from a tenth, and this was my fifth right here, but it steps up and then skips up into a third. So we're pretty happy with that. Okay, so now here's where I think our first inversion might happen. It's actually placed really nicely because we've done one time through this similarly, right? So nice. But I have a G and I have a D here. And if I skip down to the C, then I have another fifth. And we knew this from the four-part writing. And we left it there because it feels strong and good. This is a little more linear. And so here's what I want to do. I want to take you to your first inverted chord. Okay. So generally speaking, although this is not 100% true, you can always find an exception. If we're going to invert the chord, we use the third in the bass. The fifth in the bass of a triad it's really unstable, and so it has to be done correctly. There's 4 or 5 different ways to do it, quote unquote, correctly, that guard us against the instability of that chord. Now that doesn't mean in our writing here we'll never use a fifth in the bass. It's possible we will, but first inversion is usually the way to go. It feels like the same chord, it's just a little bit weaker, but it makes it now so that we don't have fifth in the soprano alto jumping up to here and down to there making another fifth. And it works out really nicely because this is our third, that's our fifth, and this alto line that we brought up is going to bring us to the C like that. right? And I just play this for you. Right? It sounds fine. It sounds different then because this is higher, right? But also because the foundation underneath is not as steady as the root. I like that a lot, okay? Now, as we move from here to here, we have to be thoughtful about the fact that we have fifth here, so we don't want to jump down to the A there because that would give us, you know, our parallel fifths. But we don't have any other doubled notes, and so, you know, 3 parts really nice in terms of, you know, that kind of thing. I'm going to jump up to the A right here. Feels like this opposite motion in the bass is you know, versus soprano is nice, and the upper range is kind of light. It's good for the tenors that are singing, or the baritones here. And I think we'll just leave these guys there. Same that we did at the beginning. You know, this common line going through will be nice and steady. So I had my perfect fifth right there. I ended up in a third right there. There are no other notes to worry about because there's no doubled notes and no other root and fifths. Here I have root, third, and fifth, so I'm good there. And as I go to my D chord here, I'm going to play the same trick, I think. I could jump down. That would be, you know, something to think about. But remember how we had A and E, and that was a fifth right here. And if I jump down to the D and the A, that's another fifth right there. And so we have consecutive fifths. I don't like that for this. So I'm just going to do that. Now it's possible when we listen to this, we might jump down. We'll see how this goes. And then I think that means that we've got a fifth and a third. That means this person's going to stay on the D like that. All right, let's have a listen. Yep, I like that. And then it's like almost like it wrote itself. Look. Right there, it comes up, takes us to the root, comes down, right? There is no fifth in this chord because it's earlier right here. See that? And we've run up to like what's the seventh of the chord and then come back down. So there's no root and fifth to worry about for parallel fifths or consecutive fifths. And there's no doubled note, so there's no possible parallel octaves. So using an inversion here and here has yielded us a new way of hearing this first part, chord progression. It's going to sound fresh because you know, we're alternating first inversion chords and root position chords, and it gives us a different line for the bassist to sing finely. Finally, you know, it's still jumping up and down a bit, but I think it's really good. And then guess what this guy gets to do? Right here, gets to be like that. Now we have to make a choice here. We hear the B right here, so we have a root and third, and then we don't anymore after that. My thought is that it's fine. But if you feel like that's too hollow, remember this is going to be going along at a fast clip. It's going to be like this. I don't have a problem with that. However, if you really want to, this could come up to the B right there, right? So we could go like this, right? Heck, we could do them both like that, so it's voice exchange, right? You can see what that sounds like. Right? That might just work fine, right? Yeah. It concerns me a bit because we have T right here, which really is going to want to go to Do, but then that's doubling the fifth of the chord, and it feels more like a unison at that point. We might just bring this down to the A and say we don't care about the resolution and have to see how that really sounds, or maybe we play with that going there like that. Here's what I'm going to do though. I'm going to leave it like that, and I'm going to put a question mark there mentally to check that out later in my next revision. not going to get too bogged down with this, right? All right, so here we are, and I feel like A is the perfect note here, because we're going ya da da, fifth passing note, third, right? This is a different texture than this. Now we could have just laid the F in right there like this. I'll play it for you like this, right? Like that. And this could be an F right there. And this will be fine, right? Not a problem. But we could also get a little fancy here and do something like that, right? And watch what I can do here. So I ended up on the third, and then I walked down to the root in parallel tense with the melody, and I can do that again right there. And I just see this, really great opportunity to... I don't think I'll keep going down because we're going to run into a problem here where there's only a third between here, these two chord tones, but there's a fourth here, and so we end up not on the G there. But we'll get to there. Now just listen. Yeah, and then that opens up my, I can go here, and then I could come down to there like that, and then I'm set up for here like that, right? So again, so I've got my root and my third, fifth is in the melody, and then so I can get set up ahead of time. It's better to skip early, it's in the chord, and then be more stable as we move into the new chord, and that gives me my root and my third right there. Okay, let's just check a couple things here. I'm on a G, and I'm on a G right there, right? So I don't want to be on double notes right here, and I'm not, because I'm using first inversion. Also, I have a G and I have a D, which is my root and fifth right here. And this is third and root, which is a sixth, so it's not parallel fifths as well. So again, inversions for the win. Okay? All right. Nice. Now what I want to avoid here is I want to avoid jumping this up to the F. It's tempting because we did it before, but this is on a C going to an F, so we don't want to do that there, right? There's only a root and third, there's no root and fifth to worry about. I think we're just going to hold this over like this, right? Like that. And then, I think we'll just stay right there like that. Okay. We could do, well, we could see what we could do on this in terms of going up, but let's try the basic first. Okay. What does it sound like when we just go like we did before? Now, we momentarily lose track of our third here at the end, but it's less egregious than here, I think, because there's two beats of that, and there's just one here. This is going to give us our root and a third, our root and an interesting note, and then, I think we're good. It's possible we could move this up to there as well at the end, but we'll see. So. Yeah, I don't care for that. Doesn't sound very good. Now, it could be because we've opened up into fifth and octave like that. It could be because there's no third. So let's actually take a moment and address this. It's pretty egregious. So let's put the third there, which might bring us nicely to the D right there, right? So let's try it again. I think it's this right here. Well, let's see what happens if I leave that there now. It's not bad. What happens if I'm on a unison there? That's not terrible either. I think a lot will tell us on what happens here, okay? And so if we did this and we went to the D like that, then this is forced to come down to the A, because otherwise we have parallel octaves from the C in the alto and the C in the bass going there, right? Also, this is a D and an F, so it's a 10th or a third, so we don't have to worry about hidden or direct fifths or octaves right there. So let's just listen to it now. Currently we're coming to a triple unison right there. We did have the rest of the chord in a dissonance, and it's on the weak beat, and then we jump into another full chord. It might be fine. I don't know. I didn't notice it, maybe because it's all there. Let's finish this chord off right here, and then we'll just listen through that. So this would stay here like this. And for right now, we're just gonna leave it the same like that, right? Means we're gonna have another root fifth situation here, which might not be what we want, and we really don't want to jump the altos down to the F, because wow, that's really low for altos. That's a whole step lower than their lowest supposed note. So let's just have a listen. Actually don't mind any of that much. Just for sake of argument, we'll listen right here. Yeah, I don't mind it either way. This could be, in Japanese we call it do demo ii. It's like whichever's fine, you know. That just feels transitional to there, right? And you know, I think we're okay. The real question is, do we want to go there like that? And actually, I sort of told myself we wouldn't mess with this, but it does present an interesting opportunity if we bring this up to the A here to go G and then run parallel downward or something like that, opposite, which is more artful. Right? Feels pretty naked. I don't know. Well, we'll have to see. Anyhow, it's never my intent to finish this off here on camera, because there's so many variant and possible ways of doing this that it becomes sort of get an idea and fiddle with it, and we'll get lost in the weeds on this in the video. But there you have it. 3-part harmony. We're looking to always have a root and a third, or at least have heard a root and a third, right? So that and so that it carries through in our mind. We're trying to avoid all our parallel octaves and parallel fifths, consecutive octaves and consecutive fifths, hidden octaves and fifths. And we did that this time by using inversions right here and in there. Again, notice that I never used second inversion. We're only looking at first inversion. We'll do formal lessons on this in the next week coming up, and then we'll look at second inversion chords too. And they have very strict rules on how they're used. Not that we can't break those rules, but they're there for a reason. The second inversion triad is pretty unstable sounding, and so you get not very satisfactory sounds out of it if you're just trying to use it for the heck of using it. They either have a function or they have a very particular sound that you're going for. So, all right.